The fawn slammed out of the forest like a struck creature. It burst through the last branches and skidded across the wet pasture grass, legs trembling so violently they nearly collapsed beneath it. Behind came the violent sounds of pursuit, a guttural snort, brush exploding, something massive driving through the trees with a predator's hungry intent. Whatever chased it was close enough that the fawn's breath broke into ragged, terrified bursts. Out in the pasture, the cow herd froze. Heads lifted, ears pointed forward. An electric jolt rippled through the heavy bodies as they snapped into a defensive ring, instinct bracing for the danger about to break from the trees. The fawn stumbled, dropped to its knees, then lurched upright again, only to slam into the wall of cows. It stood trembling, helpless, far too young to outrun the predator closing in behind it. Then the ring shifted. A single cow stepped through. Her coat carried old scars, and a fresh wound cut down her flank, the river's mark from last week's flood. Luna had roamed the pasture's far edge ever since, lingering beneath the oak each morning as if still listening for the calf the water took from her. Now a thin, broken bleat rose from the fawn's throat, a sound so raw it cut through Luna's grief like lightning. She froze. Her breath shuddered. For a single painful heartbeat, she turned her head away. Then she stepped forward. The herd parted instantly, not out of obedience, but out of a deeper instinct, the silent authority of a mother who had survived loss so profound it radiated from her like heat. Up on the farmhouse porch, Owen stopped in his doorway. His coffee mug trembled in his hand. "Luna?" he whispered. Luna lowered her head and inhaled the fawn's scent. He flinched, expecting rejection. Instead, she nudged him. A simple, decisive gesture that shattered the line between species. The fawn leaned into her. By afternoon, the fawn followed Luna like a shadow. When the herd moved toward the trough, she issued one deep, final bellow, and the cows stepped back at once. Whatever this trembling outsider was, Luna had claimed him. Owen watched from the fence. "Stubborn-hearted girl," he murmured, though something heavier flickered behind his voice. At dusk, the fawn curled against her legs. Luna stayed standing, keeping vigil. When he twitched in sleep, she lowered her muzzle and breathed over his spine, humming that quiet melody known to mothers who've lost, and those who refuse to lose again. Mara joined him. "She's trying to fill the space." Owen shook his head softly. "Maybe. Or maybe she sees a life the world already tried to take." The days that followed became a quiet education. Each morning, Luna nudged the fawn to the trough, standing over him as he drank. When the herd moved, she kept him tight to her flank, guiding him with slight shifts of her shoulder. A tail flick meant stay close. A grunt meant follow. A soft hum meant rest. The fawn learned quickly, as if afraid to fail the only protector he had. On the fourth morning, he slipped into a puddle and froze. Luna circled him, nudging until he stood again. The herd watched, whatever doubt remained melting into quiet respect. Then came the moment that bound them. The fawn nosed beneath her, seeking what only a mother gives. Luna stiffened, grief gripping every muscle, then let out a long, trembling breath and shifted her stance. Milk flowed. Owen felt tears sting his eyes. He removed his hat with reverence. "She's feeding him," he whispered. Word spread by nightfall. Cars slowed on the road, neighbors whispering as phones rose over the fence. Mara turned most away, but the story had already outgrown the farm. Luna never looked up. Her world had narrowed to the heartbeat pressed against her ribs. One morning, a white Ranger truck rolled into the yard. Owen's stomach knotted. Ranger Hales climbed out first, rigid posture, clipped steps, a man who lived by rules. Ranger Keene followed, younger, his eyes already softened with something like empathy. "Morning, sir," Hales said. "We have reports of a fawn being raised here." You heard right, Owen replied. Deer are protected. We're required to relocate him to the reserve. From the porch, Mara crossed her arms. She won't understand that. The rangers turned toward the pasture. Luna stood over the fawn like a sentry, his tiny chest pressed against her leg. Give them a minute, Owen murmured. Keen nodded. Hales hesitated, then stepped back. Owen approached Luna slowly. He stopped several feet away, hands open. Luna, he whispered, they're here to take him home. Luna stepped between Owen and the fawn. The small creature bleated, trembling with confusion. Luna lowered her head over him, chin pressed protectively across his back. Keen spoke softly. Sir. She believes he's hers. Mara's voice broke. She already lost one. Please don't make her lose another. A silence heavy as stone settled over the pasture. Finally, Owen exhaled. Give it one more week. Hales's jaw tightened. Keen's quiet nod tipped the balance. The rangers drove away. Luna didn't move until their engine faded into the hills. The days that followed felt stolen. Owen visited Luna daily, telling her about the calf he'd once failed, a weight he'd carried like a stone. Luna listened the way old mothers do. Steady, silent, without judgment. Meanwhile, the fawn grew bold. He darted under her legs, chased bird shadows, mimicked her chewing. When curious, he flicked his ears in that distinct gesture. Luna always answered with a soft hum. Then, midweek, everything broke. The fawn was gone. One moment, he was under Luna's chin. The next, the field felt too still, too sharp. Luna's bellow split the farm. She charged toward the trees, Owen sprinting after her. They found him wedged behind a thorn bramble near the river bend, trembling hard. Luna plunged into the thorns, scraping her sides raw as she pushed him free. When they returned, the herd closed around them in a protective ring. The bond was no longer questioned. It was law. On the seventh day, the rangers returned. Luna stood beside the trough, the fawn pressed close, calm yet uncertain. Take your time, Keen whispered. Owen stepped to the far gate, the one opening toward the golden forest, and lifted the latch himself. Luna watched him, her breath slow and heavy. The fawn nuzzled her chin as a long stillness settled. Then Luna nudged him forward. Not dismissal, permission. The fawn stepped toward the open gate, paused, and looked back. Luna dipped her head, the same gesture she had given him the night he first slept against her. He blinked once, then bounded into the trees with the wild grace of a creature remembering who he was born to be. Luna did not follow. She watched the woods long after he disappeared. Mara whispered, she let him go. Owen swallowed hard. She didn't lose this one, he said. Not this time. Weeks later, as the sun melted into amber across the pasture, motion stirred near the fence. A young deer stood there, taller, stronger, his coat a radiant gold. He flicked his ear in that same small gesture Luna had once answered. Across the field, Luna lifted her head. They stood like two silhouettes carved into the dusk, lives that touched briefly yet forever. Then the deer turned and slipped into the forest. Luna didn't chase. She simply watched, letting the wind move through her fur. Owen whispered from the fence, voice thick with awe. She didn't lose him. She loved him enough to set him free. And in the rustle of the grass, the memory of that trembling fawn settled. No longer fear, but legacy.